Good morning, and welcome to the Vital Zone podcast, where we explore the small shifts that create powerful results in your health and life. Each week, we sit down with special guests to uncover practical tools and cutting edge science to help you unlock your body's natural vitality, from energy and nutrition to mindfulness, giving you the edge to live with more balance, resilience, and vitality every day. Our motto here is shift small, live big. And today, you want to invite our guests.
Absolutely. So we have one of my favorite people. I got a lot of favorite people, but he's
You
one of
do.
them.
Your favorites list is pretty big.
It is. You got to be a good person to be on it. But Dominick Scala, he's my cousin. Known him his whole life. I'm a little bit older, so I can't say my whole life. But I wanted to, when you were talking about what did we want to talk about today, and I said breathing, because even though we do it all the time, we don't think about it. There's different techniques, and I didn't even incorporate it into my life until actually, Dominic, you put me on it maybe a year or two ago. And now in my Reiki practices, I incorporate the calming breath, which is a 4-7-8 breathing technique, just to relax you before I go into my Reiki session. I consider a breathing expert. He has gotten me into, is it holographic breathing? He has his own. I'll let you
Yeah, I was
go
going
from
to say,
here
Yeah.
because I'm going to end up butchering it. So, Dominick Scala, ladies and gentlemen,
Well,
how
first
you
of all,
doing today, Dom?
thank you guys for having me on this morning. I'm happy to be here with you and share a little morning coffee while we talk about
Yeah.
things to better ourselves, right? Yeah. So, CJ, you're right on the money. It's holotropic breathing is one of the more intense breath works that I feel that I have the most benefit from that. So there's different things, like you said, there's tons of different techniques, and it really depends on the person and what you're trying to achieve. But the breath is the one thing that we definitely take for granted on our day-to-day basis, and we just don't even think about how we're breathing. And most of us are not taking deep enough breaths throughout the day to keep our body activated, and it takes practice. It sounds crazy. It's just as simple as breathing, but a lot of the techniques take definitely a significant amount of practice and consistency to be able to stay in it. And then, like CJ was talking about earlier, there's different types of box breathing that are, different inhales, exhale lengths, and holds that'll just kind of ground you real quick and center you. And then there's other ones that are, a little bit more intense for stimulating your vagus nervous system and making sure that you're regulating your body and getting yourself out of the fight or flight state to find some peace and calmness throughout your day. And it really helps me tremendously with my ADHD mind. It's really been one of the only techniques that have allowed me to drop into meditation. Without breath work, I have a very difficult time.
I agree. Your breath work that you sent me, you gave me a little personalized one, because after you put me through the breath work, you extended it 15 minutes so I can remain in that space, but it puts you there a lot quicker. The one that you sent me, I still, through training, can't hold the complete, I think it's a minute and a half hold. But one of the things, and why I wanted to have you on, was it's really amazing. It's all like, when I never got into running, but these runners talk about this runner's high. Once they hit a certain level, they're there. And, this breath work takes me there with meditation to the point where it's a little daunting at first, which is why, like, I thought maybe having you on for our listeners, we can start with some simple ones, but also wanted to explain all the different, would you call it holotropic breathing. So there's so many different techniques that
There's a
activate
lot.
different things.
So I just want to get clarity. In my mind, I look at like breath work and meditation are similar. I don't know enough about labeling something as breath work to be it's breath work, not meditation. Like, is there a difference? Are they kind of the same? Because I know for me, I have a meditation background. I do it every day only because, I went on that meditation retreat with the Ashayan monks and we learned how to meditate. And part of that is breathing, but is breath work like its own, like,
Is it separate?
yeah, I don't know.
You got
I don't know.
yoga, Reiki, and then is there breath work, or is that part of, is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking him. So I know how to better have a conversation about it because I've never talked about breath work. I could talk about meditation all day.
Right.
So
So,
to me, it's really your intention, right? So it's like you can be doing the same thing, but what is your intention? What are you trying to get out of it, right? If you're just trying to regulate your nervous system, that's actually happening through the breathing exercises. You're actually stimulating that vagus nervous system. It's like your biggest nerve that goes from your head to your toes, basically, and touches all your major organs. So you are getting benefits from certain types of breath work from that. Can they also be meditation for you too? Yes, but they don't have to be. It really just is your intention on what you're doing with it. Being mindful and bringing your attention to your breath is definitely goes hand in hand with
yeah.
meditation, but you can do something just as simple as not really changing your breathing, but just focusing on your breathing. And to me, that's more of meditation than breath work because you're more so just bringing your awareness to your natural breathing versus altering your breathing drastically to induce a different mindset. Does that make sense?
I heard it somewhere sometime. It was, talking about breathing, meditation, but like your breath is one of the one thing that where you do it sub unconsciously, but you can control it consciously, right? Like the rest of your
Yeah.
body, your brain, your organs, your stomach, like
Yeah.
they do stuff all your heart, right? Like they do stuff all day that your body unconsciously takes care of itself. Why breathing's the one thing that with a little bit of awareness
Regulate.
you can tell the subconscious or unconscious to take a time out and the conscious can take over.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I never thought of it like that.
It's definitely wild. And that's honestly, that's probably one of my biggest attractions to breath work is during some of the holotropic breathing. I'm a big fan of the breath holds, as CJ knows. Like I make different guided breath works. I make the music. I do the guided portions of it, and I really rely on the breath holds to for me to enter that state of meditation for me because for whatever reason when you can consciously shut off a human, a necessary function to live, right? So you consciously stop breathing. And then if you can, after doing these repetitive deep breaths and getting yourself into basically a state of hyperventilation, like you're just over oxygenated, that's when you begin to do your breath hold. And the idea of being able to get your mind to a place that you do not even think about holding your breath, like you just clear your mind enough that you're like, I'm just existing. And the fact that you can, or at least I'm able to achieve a mindset where I can't remember whether I'm on my in breath, out breath, how long I've been holding, all of that kind of goes away. And to be able to do that while removing a necessary function to live. I don't know. There's just something powerful about that for
It's
sure.
incredible.
So I know meditate. I mean, I know I had a huge stigma towards meditation, right? Like for me, it was just the thought of even being with me for like 5 minutes was just like, I don't know. It's just, that's scary. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it wasn't until I went on the meditation retreat. I think there were Shine monks and they taught us, a practice. And you said it earlier, like you just got to put in the reps. Like you got to just try and then try to get, better. Like like the first time you get on a Peloton, you're not like a world-class cyclist. Like you just learn along the way how to get a good workout that's good for your body, and this is kind of like getting on the bike and start pedaling so you can. So, where would you, if say you just met someone and you knew that you could say, man, if you just did X a day or just try this one thing, like where would you start? Like if you're a personal trainer at the gym, somebody comes in, they want to get, healthy. And you're like, look, we're not going to do all this. Just do this one thing. It's probably
You're bench
it's
pressing 200 a
it's
day.
probably walking.
You
Like,
got
let's get you moving first, right?
yeah, you got to
Like,
condition yourself, and you do got to condition because the breath work he gave
no,
me, I just
I
can't
trust
hold.
me. I already know that it takes practice and to get better. And
Yeah.
that's with anything, you know? So a new person to say breath work, like where would somebody start where it's simple, it might not be easy, but they can get started. I mean personally for me, it doesn't take long for your body to figure out like this is good for me, right?
Yep.
Like it doesn't take you either consciously, unconsciously just to be like, wow, this I feel better. And Tim Ferriss, I heard him one time, he's like, if you can't meditate for 2 minutes, you need 2 hours,
Yep.
right? Like, you can tell by your state of being that if it's just not for you, that you should probably do it, right? So let's just use me as an example. If you were to talk to me and say, hey, this is where I'd start and this is the first thing that I do, what would that be?
So for me, I would definitely suggest like the box breathing, like CJ was talking about earlier. There's a bunch of different counts, but 4 seconds in, 2 second hold, 5 second out, 2 second hold, and just repeating that cycle over and over again for, at a minimum 2 minutes, right? To start with. And you can start with just baby steps. I would say practice that every day for like a week, and each time up it by like 1 minute for how long that you're doing it, right? And
I think
from
he
there,
made
I'd
me
say that's
think
a
of
really good starting place. Just don't overwhelm yourself. Start simple. It's just breathing.
So before then, that is a great starting place. You had put me onto this, I'd gone through what is that called, Heaven's Compass. It was a internal guidance system master program. The woman Zen DeBrock, she was brilliant. But the thing that got me was breathing, and I was going through a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear and stuff. She said, you just got to center yourself first. So before, when I was going through, whatever, something happens and you're in that fight or flight, like you said, right? I had to sit down and do this box breathing. Literally, all it did was take all the noise away and allow you to just sort of center yourself and just reset real quick. Are there different benefits to other type of breathings outside of just mental clarity? Like when I was doing Taekwondo and we would belt up, he would push us to the limit, to the point where we couldn't sweat anymore. Our faces were white, and then he'd put us through our moves to make sure that we could do them, subconsciously. He put me through a different breathing technique that sort of reset your system, allowed you to breathe again. And it was through the nose and out the mouth, because your nose has different filters. And so when you're doing these simple breathings, does it make a difference if you breathe in through your nose and out through the mouth, or in through the mouth and out through the nose?
Before we get into that, the answer to that's 10,000%.
Right.
We could do an hour on why you should breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Yep.
Literally, like it is. I 1,000% guarantee. And I don't want to. I've seen videos, but if you just understand how your nasal passage is even shaped, it's wild.
Yeah,
Like
because there's like 32 different filters or
we
something.
are so intelligently designed. It's unbelievable. So I want to go back to the beginning, which I just came up with this Garrett White's Core 4.
Yeah.
Like he said, do X seconds in, X seconds hold. Like, what if you did breathe in 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4? Like your box breathing,
That's
a
simple
core
box.
4. Do it 4 times a day for 4 days.
Dominic, would that
There you
have
go.
benefits?
I like the fours and the repeating fours there and all that.
Core
I like
4.
that. Yeah.
4 count, four
in,
times a
4
day
out.
for
Yeah.
4 days.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
so people we got some listeners that may go home and start breathing, center themselves, but like he said, should they in through their nose, hold out through their mouth? Like there's techniques that like he
It's
has.
not even up for discussion.
Well, it's not for discussion, but how you breathe in and how you push out matters too. Am I correct? You want to,
Absolutely.
like when he was training me, you got to breathe in and you got to push it out.
No, you breathe with
You
your
don't just
stomach.
hold it.
You
Yeah.
breathe with your stomach, not your chest. Right?
It's actually a combination of both. It depends on what you're doing, but for a lot of the holotropic deeper breaths, it's you're filling your belly. It's almost like a 2 breath thing. So you're filling your stomach first, then your chest. So it's like a 2-part stomach, chest, and that kind of gets you in this rhythm, and it ensures that you're using the full capacity of your lungs as well. So that's something that we have an upper and lower section to our lungs, and a lot of us will breathe into one or the other in a sense and not really expand the full capacity of our lungs. So that's just a benefit in itself right there, is most people don't fully expand their lungs, like, ever. When, if you're not told to do it, when do you take a full breath the whole way, as much as you can possibly suck in? People just don't do it. So just exercising that
Because it
portion of our
requires
body.
effort, a little extra effort, and the awareness.
And
Well,
why? So I'd be like, oh, why am I going to do that?
that's the big thing for me too. It's like, it may not even be the mental benefits from actually stimulating the vagus nervous system or regulating that. It may not be the meditation, but a lot of the times for me, I practice this in the morning and it's freaking difficult. And CJ will just attest to it that, like, if you're really, really pushing yourself, it's difficult. And it's kind of the same thing as like the ice bath, right? If you do that in the morning, you already got like the hardest part of your day over. So
It's
just
so
push
fun, dude.
yourself.
This is so funny. Like Marty has the ice bath, a jacuzzi,
Yeah.
and I did like 39 minutes in 56-degree water. And I'm not kidding you. Well, I've done this stuff before, but it wasn't until,
Self-torture.
hold on, it wasn't until I was able to consciously control my breathing was I even able to do that. Because the second you get in that ice bath, your body goes into fight or flight like nobody's
Get
business.
me out of here.
And if you can't center your awareness and focus on your breathing, you will get out of that ice bath in about 20 seconds,
For sure.
So I understand, like, in doing the cold shower, doing all that cold stuff, it forces you to bring your awareness and bring your breathing under center, or you're not going to make it.
But it is, that's a good comparison because like the simple breathing, the box breathing, 4-4-4-4, I think, or Dominic had a different one. What'd you say? Two, I forget what you
It
said.
doesn't really matter. I mean, like, 4 in, 2 hold. And normally I like to do a longer exhale than an inhale. So 5 or 6 out with another 2 hold.
So that's an amazing start for people. I think anybody can do it. It's not daunting. You're not like, okay. So the breathing technique that you put me there was like, okay, you got to sort of be committed. The toughest part is committing yourself to doing it. It's just like the ice bath. It's getting in. You got to get into the bath. You can sit outside the bath all day long and go, that thing's cold. Once you get in,
And your foot tells you don't do it.
the breathing techniques, I know when I'm going into it, I'm like, all right. I was like, I'm getting into Dominic's breathing technique. Here we go. And I get a little nervous, right? Because
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's, it's hard. After the fact, I'm so happy I did it. And I lay there for 15 minutes and I'm just like in my meditative state, getting whatever I need to get from it. And you're so thankful you put yourself through it. It's that discipline though.
Definitely. And I think that pretty much every morning, no matter how often I do it, every morning I'm like, dang, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I'm in
That's
that
the way I
mindset.
felt about
But,
cold
like, you
showers.
just
You
gotta
never
do it.
want to get in there,
Never.
ever. And then when you get out, you're like, I feel amazing.
Yeah, you're glad you did it. Yeah, starting it. So, yeah, Joe Rogan was talking about that with the ice baths. And he was like, because every morning, he goes, I don't want to do it. But
Nobody
the
wants to do
takes
it.
over the discipline and goes, get in the bath. You'll be fine afterwards,
Nobody is like, gets up in the morning, is like, you know what would be great? An ice bath or a cold shower. Like, no, your brain is like, hey, man, stranger danger. No, don't do that. That's gonna, and it does. It's not cool for like a minute or two. And then after that, you're so happy you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The
Dominic,
night.
I know I have a SoundCloud link. I know you have your own side of businesses that you do, and your music and stuff. Do you have anything on the breathing outside of your? Do you have like a website? Or is your SoundCloud with your breathing techniques, your guided breathing? Is that open to the public or is it private? Is there something that we can add to our video and our podcast at the end, like a link? And if you don't have it, but something that you would give to the viewers, hey, go here when you're ready to get started. This is a good first one. Or even
Yeah.
if you have stuff, we'll throw it all out there. But
Yeah. I have a couple
what do you got? What
things.
do you want to give the people?
So it's all part of my music project, which is called Seventh Density. So that project started being inspired by kind of blending the meditative breathwork music that I've been creating along with like ecstatic dance style or just like world bass music. So on my SoundCloud page for Seventh Density, I do have two different guided breathworks. So that's a good place, and I'll continue to release stuff on there. But that's all I really have to the public right now. Is there's two different guided breathworks on there that I can provide a link for.
Awesome. Well, just text me those links after we're done here, and I'll make sure we get it, on our page for everybody so they can go check you out. What else? Do you got any other questions?
No, I just think for people I know why people don't do certain things. No, I know it's not judgment, it's measurement.
No,
Like
absolutely.
I know why people don't, because change is different, different is fear, and that's why I was trying to come up with a framework of like the core four of just 4 times a day, 4 minutes a day, because it'd be really hard to like sell yourself on the idea that you don't have 4 minutes in the
And
morning.
it's easy to remember too, I think. Do
Yeah,
you think that's
that's
a good breathing? Like
if they start
Sean's been
there.
talking about it. He's the expert. Is that a good start? The core four,
I think
four, four,
that's
four, four.
I think that's a really great starting point. There's nothing better than that. Like you're saying,
The
it's
four box, four
that.
times a day for 4 days. Just start there.
In through your nose, hold
Yeah,
four.
absolutely.
Out through your nose, out through your mouth, hold four.
Yep.
I did this challenge, and I don't know, Marty's coach is Sifu. That's the guy's name, Sifu. And he had a 5 day. It was 5 times a day for 5 minutes. And his thing was a full inhale and a full exhale was 1 minute. So you did 5 breaths in 5 minutes. And I worked my way to where I could do that.
Yeah.
And if you breathe out too fast and you got like,
Oh yeah.
your body goes into that fight or flight again of like, oh my God, we're out of breath. Like we might die. I need to breathe. Like just that mental state of being out of oxygen. You realize how important your breath is and realize how you don't even think about it
But
your entire life.
with that said, Dominick's breathing technique, one of your things is getting to that spot and then passing it, right?
That's the whole,
Absolutely.
that's
You
the
go
whole,
past
that's
that
exactly
spot
right.
because I don't want to even say this on the podcast. Next thing you know, 1,000 people are going around holding their breath, seeing if they can die. But I don't
No, it's
think
the exhale. You're holding.
you can do that. Like I can't sit here and hold my breath and then all of a sudden
No.
hold it enough to where I die.
It's
Like my
not.
body will catch
It's
back
not
up.
holding the inhale. It's holding the exhale.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both.
What?
Yeah. So the way that I
But
do it is the first breath hold is on the exhale, and then you take one big breath in and you do another breath hold on the inhale. So it's normally a minute and 30 seconds for each. So you're taking one breath in 3 minutes, really. But then on the more advanced versions, there's portions where I'm holding each one for 3 minutes. So it's one breath in like 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's way past me. It took me work to get to that one in 1 minute, like a full rotation or a full box.
but you can get there. So his one breathing technique, you go through, I believe, three sessions, right? You go three different. You do that 3 times where you hold out, and the third time, because you do the same breathing technique 3 times. The third time, I can get there. On
Yep.
the exhale, I can. That first time, it's a psychological thing. You're not counting in your head. You're just going with the guided breath work, and Dominic's going, now hold. Almost there. That first time, you're like, all right, I'm just breathing. Second time, you're almost there, and and this is just on the first time of me trying. If I do this every day, I think it would only probably take a week, maybe 2 weeks to get my body conditioned to where I can go do like the more extensive breathing technique that you have. I just didn't give myself discipline to sit and do it every day, but I do use it, Dominic. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing that with me.
Of
Yeah,
course.
because I've called you afterwards. Like, I got a Reiki session today. Thank you. I've used your breathing technique to center myself before I go do it. I use it constantly. It is very powerful. But thank you.
It's so funny. I'm gonna tell you a story. CJ, the one day he was so wound up, and during this call or talk, I'm thinking of like the cold showers and the ice baths. And at least for he mentioned ADHD, but for people like me, like when everything's going on, like your brain or your internal nervous system, it feels like it's in an ice bath, even though you're not physically in an ice bath, right? And it's just like, and CJ, the one day I said, man, you need to calm down. Like you're stressed, you're just everything's triggering you. You're out of control, bro. I was like, let's do this. I was like, let's put on some meditative music. We'll do 20 minutes. CJ popped up in like 3 minutes. I can't do this. And just like stormed out of the room. And I was like, you couldn't do 3 minutes. That means you need 3 hours.
1,000% correct. Because that was right. That was the beginning of my, I need this, like, I need to start meditating just to get yourself out of that. And I didn't get it at first. I just didn't get it. So I'd lay there and the monkey brain took over and it was like, why are you laying here? You got to go out back and do this and this. And then you have to go over there. And the whole purpose of meditation is to shut off the monkey brain. I saw this one.
It shuts off. So here's what I learned. And I love his feedback because what the Ashayan monks talked about, to put it in like a visual theory, is like your consciousness is just like a river. It's always moving, right? And sometimes the river is not moving, but it's just water under a bridge and you're the observer and you're just standing under the bridge. You're not in the water. You're not in the ice bath. You're just on the bridge where you're an observer of your consciousness. The water's going under the bridge. You laid there in those 3 minutes. You were in the water drowning and you're like, I'm getting out of this water, right? Like it's not, but the point of that is it's not even about controlling or something. It's just being an observer and separating yourself and whatever is down there at that time, whatever water's flowing under you, like you can look at it and not be attached to it or whatnot. Some days it's raging, some days it's still, some days it's moving, but whatever it is, your consciousness
But it
is
calms
always
the
flowing.
waters. That's what it does. I mean, and sometimes, like, if you're going to use that analogy, that day when I was sitting on the couch, it was a raging river.
Yeah, and you were in it.
And I was in it, dude. It was just, they just released the dam and I didn't have a raft. And I was
We all
like,
have
screw
those
this.
days.
I'm getting out of here.
So my question was, after all that, my question was, when you do this, there's a lot of awareness that goes to the counting and the deep breaths and the calm. Like there's awareness, and that's why in meditation they talk about your breath. It's like so you have something to focus on that you can control versus just letting, being overwhelmed. What happens when you do sit down to do breath work? And say you're going to do the core four for 4 minutes and you are CJ on that couch and your brain is just in overload.
I mean, it can definitely be difficult. There's no doubt about it. It's just not letting yourself get discouraged if you're losing count. And if you catch yourself losing count, just start over again and hop back into it. But the biggest thing is to just try not to get discouraged by it and to continue to put in, it's only 4 minutes, right? If this is what we're sticking to, it's only 4 minutes. So just continue to try it for 4 minutes. That's it. Just keep trying.
And that's key because you said that day when I'm in the raging river, we're going to do a 20-minute meditation.
And you freaked out.
Well, there was no way I was sitting there for 20 minutes. Number one. Number two, I don't believe there was any breathing techniques either. So it was sit down there and meditate, and I'm just sitting there going. So 4 minutes is fantastic because that's anybody can do it. You're freaked out. Just sit down and calm yourself. It's 5 minutes, dude. Get away.
Just put on a timer. So what helped me beginning, for me, like I'm not telling people to do this, but for me, having that timer. So if I thought I was at minute 10 and the timer didn't go off, it's like the timer will go off. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shut it off. Get out.
Like it's okay. Whenever the timer goes off, you'll be done. You're not in danger. Relax. And then you just go back to, because when, doing the Reiki sessions, they're what, 50 minutes?
Average.
And I know going in, like, is that 50 minutes going to feel like 5 minutes? Or is that 50 minutes going to feel like 5 hours? Because I know my state going in is to, like, consciously, if my brain's like, are we 20 minutes in? Do I have 30 minutes left? Mental gymnastics. And I think if you just start out with a couple minutes,
Super easy, yeah.
Super easy to overcome that.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just staying consistent and If you say that you're going to commit to something, commit to it and follow through. And if it means, like you said, using specific tools like reminders on your phone that pop up to do 4 minutes of breath work, a timer, if you need to do a timer for your 4 minutes so you know when it's up. But
I have a timer to tell me when
really,
to turn my phone off at night.
Yeah, I get told to go to bed at 11 o'clock. It's your bedtime. I get a little.
those tools are
But just
important,
set up
right?
a reminder. It's not even
No,
about the phone.
yeah, daily reminder. Do your 4 minutes. Just try it for a week. Is there anything else? Thank you for coming on to the show, taking time out of your day. What is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to get out there to the world?
No, I mean, I think we covered a good portion of it. It was a good little basic on breath work here, and I hope that, well, one, thank you for having me, and two, I really hope that anybody that listens to this might have a little light bulb go off in their head, and do a little bit of research to find some type of breath work that will help them throughout the day, because it's definitely made a significant change in my life.
Mine as well.
Likewise.
So
I thought it was just so, and now like 8, 9 years later, meditation's not this like weird airy like it's not, in the public eye, it's not when you say meditation, people think I know there's benefits to that because I've heard about it, right?
right.
Where back in the day, if you said you meditate, people would be like, what? Dude,
Yeah.
this guy's a little weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
who
interesting
works on
how.
themselves?
Who
Yeah,
sits by
exactly, right.
themselves and listens to their breathing? What are you doing?
I mean,
All right.
that's
Well,
part of the fun of it, right?
it is. Well, thank you again for coming on. We will add a couple of your links to our episode when we share this.
I would just say do something, get started.
Do something. Get out there today. Just try it. 444, the core four breathing technique will help you amazingly get out of that fight or flight. For the Vital Zone podcast, I'm CJ.
Sean,
And there's Dominic. Thank you all for listening. God bless you all.
thanks, Dominic.